Okay, today, guys, we are going over some 4.0 content. Okay, we're looking at absolute value equations. Okay, something we want to remember when we look at absolute value equations is what absolute value means, right? Absolute value is a number's distance from zero. Okay, it's a number's distance from zero. Okay, so again, recall the definition: a number's distance from zero on a number line. So if you ever struggle with absolute value, just always think of a number line and think of think of how far away it is from zero. Excuse me. Okay, that's all you can do. So we want to solve each absolute value equation. So for number one, we have the absolute value of x is equal to 15. Now, if we stop and think about this, we might think that there's a couple options here, and that's because there are. Okay, x can equal 15 or x can equal negative 15. Okay, both 15 and negative 15 make that equation true. The absolute value of 15 is 15, and the absolute value of negative 15 is 15. Okay, so maybe with this, we can start to see some patterns that we might see with our absolute value equations. Okay, so for one like this, where we have the absolute value of x minus 3 is equal to 12, we're going to split it off into two different things. Okay, we can have x minus 3 is equal to 12 or x minus 3 is equal to negative 12. Okay, the reason we can have it equal to positive 12 or negative 12, again, is because either can make this statement true, right? The absolute value of 12 is 12. The absolute value of negative 12 is also 12. Okay, so if we have an equation like this that's going to require some steps, we have to split it into two and set it both equal to 12 and negative 12. Okay, so then we just solve. So x minus 3 is equal to 12. I add 3 to both sides. I get x is equal to 15. On this side, when I add 3 to both sides, I get x is equal to negative 9. Okay, so I have x is equal to 15. Whoopsie, sorry, guys. X is equal to 15. X is equal to negative 9. Both of these make this equation true. Okay, remember we're working with absolute values, distances from zero. Okay, that's why we have to break it off into two different ones. Okay, looking at the next one, number 3, I have 2x plus 7 is equal to 11. The absolute value of 2x plus 7 is equal to 11. Okay, again, I want to break this off into two. What do you guys think both of these are going to be here? Take a second and try and think about that. Okay, hopefully we said 2x plus 7 is equal to 11, or 2x plus 7 is equal to negative 11. Again, both 11 and negative 11, if you take the absolute value of both those numbers, we're going to get a positive 11. Okay, now we just solve. Okay, I subtract 7 from both sides. 11 minus 7 is 4. I get 2x is equal to 4. Then I divide both sides by 2, and I get x is equal to 2. Okay, there's one of my solutions. For the right side, I have 2x plus 7 is equal to negative 11. I subtract 7 from both sides. Negative 11 minus 7. They're both negative, so I'm taking a negative number and I'm subtracting 7 more from it, so I'm going more negative. Okay, so negative 11 minus 7 is negative 18. I have 2x is equal to negative 18. My last step here is divide both sides by 2. I'm trying to isolate my variable, right? Negative 18 divided by 2 is negative 9. X is equal to negative 9. So I have x equal to 2 and x equal to negative 9 for that one. Okay. For the next one, okay, absolute value means distance from zero. Distance cannot be negative, right? I talked about that in some of my classes, right? If I'm standing 3 feet to the right of my desk, I am 3 feet away. If I move to the other side and I'm 3 feet to the left of my desk, I'm still 3 feet away. Okay, distances cannot be negative. Okay, so this would be no solution because this negative 4 right here is negative. There's no value we can put in this absolute value in order for us to get a negative 4. Distances cannot be negative. Okay, think about that. Think about that desk analogy I just gave you guys. If I'm 3 feet to the right, I'm 3 feet away. If I'm 3 feet to the left, I'm still 3 feet away. Okay? It's not negative 3 and positive 3. It's just 3 feet both times. Okay? Distances cannot be negative. So this one would be no solution because this number right here is negative. Okay? So for number 5, I have the absolute value of x plus 6 is equal to 21. And right here we have get the absolute value alone first. Okay? And what that means is everything that's outside the absolute value, we want to move so we just can deal with the absolute value. And we do that, of course, by subtracting 6 to both sides, right? The inverse operation of adding 6 is subtracting 6. Okay, 21 minus 6 is 15. And now all of a sudden I have something I can deal with. I have the absolute value of x, it's alone, okay, equals 15. This is very similar. It's the exact same thing as our first question, right? X is equal to 15 or x is equal to negative 15. Okay, both of those values make this equation true. Absolute value of 15 is 15. Absolute value of negative 15 is also 15. Okay, for number 6, 2/3 times the absolute value of x plus 6 is equal to 24. Again, we want to get the absolute value alone. So we do that. Remember, if we have a fractional coefficient, our fraction out here is 2/3. The way to move this to the other side of the equal sign is to multiply by the, hopefully everyone said reciprocal right there. Okay, the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. Okay, when I multiply 24 by 3/2, I get 36. So now I have the absolute value of x plus 6 is equal to 36. Now my absolute value is alone. It's all alone now. So now I can split it into 2 like I've been doing. Okay, I would get x plus 6 is equal to 36, or x plus 6 is equal to negative 36. Okay, I can just solve each side now. I subtract 6 from this side, subtract 6 from this side. 36 minus 6 is 30. So I get x is equal to 30. Or I can do x plus 6 is equal to negative 36. When I subtract 6 from both sides here, negative 36 minus 6 is negative 42. Okay, so now I have x is equal to 30 or x is equal to negative 42. Okay, so again, we want to get the absolute value alone and then split it up. Okay, for number 7, I have the absolute value of 3/5 x minus 9 minus 12 is equal to 18. Hopefully we're all thinking to do first, we need to get rid of this negative 12. Okay, we need to add 12 to both sides. 18 plus 12 is 30. So I have 3/5 x minus 9. The absolute value of 3/5 x minus 9 is equal to 30. Okay, now I can split it up. So I set 3/5 x minus 9 equal to a positive 30, or 3/5 x minus 9 equal to a negative 30. Okay, now I can just work left side and right side. Okay, I add 9 to both sides. 30 plus 9 is 39. So we have 3/5 x equals 39. Again, we have a fractional coefficient. How do we get rid of fractions? We multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal, remember, is just the denominator and the numerator flipped. So 5/3 times 39 gives me 65, and x is equal to 65. Okay. For the right side, I have 3/5 x minus 9 is equal to negative 30 now. I'm going to add 9 to both sides still. Negative 30 plus 9 is, hopefully everyone said negative 21. I have 3/5 x is equal to negative 21. Now in this step, again, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay? Negative 21 times 5/3 is negative 35. So I have x is equal to 65, or x is equal to negative 35. Both of these values make this equation true. Okay? For number 8, I have the absolute value of 1/2 x plus 2 is equal to negative 5. Okay, again, I want to get this absolute value alone. How am I going to do that? I'm going to do that by subtracting 2 from both sides first. Negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. Okay, now I have the absolute value of 1/2 x is equal to negative 7. Now my absolute value is alone. Okay, now I can deal with this. I split it up, but wait, no I can't. Okay, hopefully you guys stopped me before I went there. This is a negative 7, right? We can't do that. Why can't we do that again? We can't do this because distances cannot be negative. The absolute value means the distance from 0, and this is a negative number. We can't have a distance that's negative. Hopefully you guys were shouting at me to stop there, because we can't take the absolute value and split this up to get a negative number. Okay, this is no solution. Distances can't be negative. Okay, don't forget that. Don't get in the groove of doing these problems like we just were, and then all of a sudden think that you can still do this. We can't do that problem because it's already negative. Okay? For number 9, I have negative 2 times the absolute value of x plus 8 minus 1 is equal to negative 13. Okay, I'm going to add 1 to both sides. I get negative 2 times the absolute value of x plus 8 is equal to negative 12. Now I can still get rid of this negative 2. I do that by dividing by negative 2. Negative 12 divided by negative 2 is, hopefully we all said 6. I get the absolute value of x plus 8 is equal to 6, okay? Now I have a positive number here, okay? So now I can split this up. So I have x plus 8 is equal to 6, or x plus 8 is equal to negative 6, and I can work left side and right side to isolate my variable, okay? I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. 6 minus 8 is negative 2. X is equal to negative 2. Or x plus 8 equals negative 6. Again, I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides, and I'll get x is equal to negative 14. Okay? So notice how initially it was negative, still was negative, but remember we have to get the absolute value all the way by itself and then check this number. It ended up being positive, so we could split it still. Whereas in the last one, if we go back, okay? We go back, this was negative when we had the absolute value here, okay? If this is negative and the absolute value is alone, then it's no solution, okay? So looking at number 10, I have 2/3 times the absolute value of 3x minus 5 is equal to 14. Okay, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3 halves. Okay, 14 times 3 halves is 21. I have the absolute value of 3x minus 5 is equal to 21. This is a positive number, so I can split it up. Okay, so I get 3x minus 5 is equal to 21, or 3x minus 5 is equal to negative 21. Now I can work left side and right side. To solve for the variable, I add 5 to both sides. 21 plus 5 is 26. 3x equals 26. Divide both sides by 3. 26 divided by 3 is 26 thirds, okay? X is equal to 26 thirds. I can't simplify that fraction any more than it already is, okay? For the right side, I have 3x minus 5 is equal to negative 21 now, okay? Still add 5 to both sides. Negative 21 plus 5 is negative 16. 3x is equal to negative 16. To solve for x here, I divide by 3. Negative 16 over 3, again, cannot be reduced anymore. So I have x is equal to 26 thirds, and x is equal to negative 16 thirds. Okay? So right here, that's super important too. Okay, we can't reduce these fractions. Okay, and that is it for today, guys.